After years of COVID restrictions, people heading to the mainland and coming to Hong Kong do not have to worry about daily quotas and test requirements anymore, as the border has fully reopened today. All border checkpoints are now back in operation, and an influx of travelers was seen at the Lo Wu MTR Station. After 3 years, a once familiar scene has returned to the Lo Wu MTR Station, which has been closed since February 2020 because of COVID. Passengers on the first train of the East Rail line rushed off to queue outside the border checkpoint as soon as they arrived at around 6 a.m. this morning. As the control point opened at 6:30 a.m., the crowd dashed to the counters and e-channel gates for departure. From today, people crossing the border are free from all restrictions, including quarantine, quota limits, and COVID test requirements. This woman felt grateful, saying the procedures are a lot more convenient now. But this elderly man had a slight hiccup, as he didn't know the mainland requires inbound visitors to submit an electronic health declaration form. However, he managed to get through after receiving help from some staff. The whole border crossing process took only about 10 minutes. Across the frontier, a large batch of students headed south to Hong Kong. Many had decided not to wait until the official resumption of in-person classes before returning. The Education Bureau has earlier announced that cross-border secondary students can attend full-day in-person lessons from Wednesday, while those in primary schools and kindergartens could return on the 22nd of this month. Meanwhile, the Liantang Hengyun Wai checkpoint, which was only open to cargo trucks in August 2020, has opened to individual travelers for the first time today. Its service for passengers was earlier delayed because of COVID. The first two buses of the new route B7, which connects Hengyun Wai with Shengshui and Fanling, carried about 200 people to the land port. This man said the bus service can save at least half the journey time than he usually takes to go to the Sha Tao Kok control point. It took less than 15 minutes to complete the border crossing procedure at this new port. Security Chief Chris Tang said a total of 83,000 travelers had crossed the border as of noon today. He assured that the operation at the Lo Wu control point has been smooth so far, but advised people to use other checkpoints if necessary.
For the time being, the passenger flow in Lo Wu it's very smooth. But as I said before, there may be some construction work in the mainland side of the Lo Wu, and there may be some effect on the passenger flow in the future. So that's the reason why we have to use like the Lok Ma Chau border crossing point to help to make the people become more effective.
Others who inspected the Lo Wu control point today included Chief Secretary Eric Chan, Education Chief Christine Choi, and Immigration Director Alka Wang. Earlier in the day, Tang attended a launch ceremony of clearance operations for passengers at the Hengyun Wai control point. He also inspected the Lok Ma Chau Huanggang land port, which reopened at midnight.